Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the eSports Report presented by Xbox One, the official console of Major League Gaming. Benson and Mr. X currently going to be guiding you through the match previews for tonight. And we have some good ones. Take a look at our overall schedule card for tonight. So much action. Of course, day 2 of the Pro League. We've got Optic Nation going up against Team Caliber. We then have Epsilon NA at 7 p.m. Eastern going up against Team Elevate. Denal play Rise at 8 p.m. and then at 9 p.m. Eastern to close out the evening. Isolation go up against Optic Gaming. And the storylines tonight will start with Optic Nation versus TK. First game of the day. Big thing that we have to talk about is which game mode really has Optic Nation, which game mode has Mochilla helped Optic Nation with the most. Now, this is something which I know you're going to have a massively differing opinion on, because statistically, it's actually search and destroy,
but
which is very weird, right?
Right. In my opinion, it's Respawn. I mean, they got him over Killa to play well in Respawn game modes, put up those kills as a top flight AR. But, I mean, you were bringing up the point, stats say that it's S&D.
It's very, very weird. It really is. I mean, this is a look at UMG Cali. Okay, S&D record was 0-6. Average score difference of -3.2.
Key player with a .83.
Yeah, that's when you know you've got some troubles, Matt. Team KD at 1.06. Average kills just 5 for Killa. And that's that key player. Yeah. That is such a highlight of just how kind of bad it was. And of course, we'll take a look at how they did at Season 3 relegation. Things definitely took a major turn for Optic Nation. Their overall record in Search and Destroy was actually 3-3. Right. So they immediately start winning some games.
Yeah, they start winning some games. Moch playing pretty well. I mean, better than Killa was. I mean, Moch with a .93, average kills 7, so 2 more kills on the map.
It's not a lot,
yeah,
right?
Not a lot.
It's not a lot, but it's definitely enough to really show you that, you know, those extra couple of kills does increase your Search and Destroy wins. But again, kind of a differencing opinion here, because I kind of do agree with you in the sense that it's definitely going to be for Respawn. That's the point, right? You pick up a player like Mochilla who's just going to kill things. That's what Optic Nation really
with an AR. They needed somebody who was going to consistently put up kills with an AR in Respawn game modes. They were never going to compete in Respawn with the team they had, and quite frankly, they weren't going to compete in Search either. They were struggling to pick up wins.
Which you expected them to be so good at. Like, you looked at that old Optic Nation team and you're like, okay, you know, they're a couple of talented Search and Destroy players. Yeah. For them to, you know, struggle at 0-6 at the last event they played,
that's not good.
Was not good at all. But looking at Team Caliber, where was their kind of struggles last
Search and
night?
Destroy, without a doubt.
Really? That's
they were poor in Search and Destroy.
How poor is poor, man?
Very poor. You know, Theory with a .44, Sharp 0.54, Nezo 0.67, Nameless with a 1.14. So you see the disparity in the KDs there. You know, they lose Recovery. S&D 6-4. They lose Riot. S&D 6-2. Not enough first bloods. 39% of the time first blood rate. 7 in 18 rounds for TK.
That is, yeah, that's not good
bueno.
enough at all. So you kind of look at those two teams and the way they stack up. Of course, Optic Nation versus TK, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be the opening game to day 2 of Season 3 Pro League, and then followed by that is going to be Epsilon versus Elevate. And this is an interesting one, Matt, because the big concern for Epsilon, communication. And it's something which you yourself kind of broke it down with Swanee, and he was telling you, it was like, yeah, communication with this team is going to have to get better if we're going to have any chance of succeeding in Season 3.
Yeah, their communication, they really don't have a leader. That's kind of where they look at it. You know, Swanee says he's going to step up, be the leader for the squad. They're going to need it. You know, Nagafen, Remy, not two very vocal players. No, Royalty, not very vocal as well. And Swanee, I mean, you would know a little bit better than I do. In Europe, not really a vocal leader.
No,
kind of just a guy who fits in.
Rarely gets, you know, that kind of energy, that hype about him, and he isn't one necessarily to sit there and call the shots all the time. But you know, he's experienced, he's talented, and he gets the job done. That's for sure. But communication, definitely a big concern for them. Then you look over at Elevate, and the big question is, you know, which player is going to impact Elevate more? Is it going to be Saints or is it going to be Apathy?
It's going to be Saints. This one's close for me because both players are so good, but Saints, one of the most consistent slayers in Call of Duty. He can do with the SMG, he can do with an AR. Very talented in S&D as well. Just a very strong overall, you know, player. Going to be looking at him really kind of shape this Elevate team, give them more consistent slaying. You know, and that kind of helps them from the standpoint that, you know, Classic kind of up and down. He can have some off games and some good games. When you get two consistent players like Apathy and Saints on your squad, you can allow him to have some dud games and still get away with it. And now when Classic plays great, I mean, one of the strongest players in Call of Duty as well. I mean, we've seen him put up some big games against top flight competition. Saints, though, the real key for this Elevate lineup.
I mean, you know, we look at Saints, and one of the things that most people recognize as say all the time is this guy doesn't go negative at events.
No.
Never. He's never going to have one of those events where, you know, I feel like everyone has an event like that where they just don't perform.
It's like
him doesn't have
him and Slasher, like Slasher secretly is like one of the most consistent players in the game as well.
It's very, very impressive. It really is. Yeah. I feel like he doesn't get enough props for kind of that role of just being consistent at events. May not necessarily have the flashiest of games, but he's doing his role and getting it done. So overall, of course, Epsilon versus Elevate, 7 p.m. I don't want to get your thoughts just yet because we'll be covering that in our predictions a little bit later on in the show. But moving on, 8 p.m., Denal will play Rise. Gotta ask you, can TJ carry this Rise squad in Season 3?
I mean, obviously, if he plays like yesterday, yeah. I mean, he looked great yesterday. Do you expect that on a day in and day out basis? Not really. I mean, he was playing pretty strong with TK before he got released. I mean, you see the stats from TJ last night. Just absolutely out of this world. Do I think he can put this up every night? Probably not.
I mean, TJ finished what? With the highest overall KD and Slayer rating of the evening. For him to do that every single day, that's a huge story.
A huge task. But if Rise kind of plays around him, lets him play his game, I mean, I can see him finishing with an overall KD around like a 1.14, you know, pretty good surge play. I think he can be a huge contributor to this Rise squad.
Gotta ask you though, was it a one-hit wonder performance?
Oh no, he's gonna have big days all throughout Season 3. I mean, if they're gonna win games, he's gonna be the one who wins them for him. So you're gonna expect TJ to have a really good Season 3.
There was a big old social media battle as well. I'm not sure if you're aware of it going on last night as you were casting, but TJ and Killer going head to head, just kind of roasting each other essentially was what was going on. Killer basically saying how, hey, you know, when the next game comes out, you're gonna be screwed, no movement, you're not gonna do anything. So in terms of a player like Tej, should be okay in Black Ops 3.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, neither of those guys have played Black Ops 3 yet. So who knows?
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, you can't talk about the next game when you haven't played it.
I guess. Valid point. Valid point. You played it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good.
As one of like how many people that played the game, you're probably in the top echelon. For now.
Out of the people who played it, I was very good.
For now, so good job on that. But of course, 8 p.m. Denial will play Rise Nation, and then at 9 p.m. to close out the evening, this is going to be an interesting one. Isolation Esports will go up against Optic Gaming. Now, you gave ISO some love yesterday.
Yep.
Is there any chance that ISO can pull off what will be the biggest upset of the season so far?
I don't think so, but if they do, they're going to have to win the S&Ds. I mean, despite Hardpoint being their strongest game mode, they're going to have to win the searches. That's really the way you beat Optic Gaming. You know, ISO, they're going to get outslayed. Can they win another Hardpoint with getting outslayed? I don't know. I think Optic probably ends up taking that one. I saw some stuff on Twitter. Maybe OG playing with a sub tonight.
Really?
Scump's birthday. Not sure if he's going to be on to play, so we'll have to keep our eye on that as well.
Maybe that's that lifeline, which ISO need, because for me, you look at this team, and I think you look at the hard points, right? If ISO somehow managed to win a hard point, that would be insane.
Well, I will say the first one's going to be a drift hard point. We saw Optic not get off to a strong start against Envy yesterday. In drift, they end up coming out, pulling that game out at the end. ISO, maybe they're able to get drift first game.
Yeah, that would be
waiting around for a bit. Maybe they're able to steal that one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key for me. That map number one really does set the tone. But despite that, everything you said about Search and Destroy is very, very true. If they can pull away those wins in Search, they definitely do stand a chance. But let's take a look at the schedule for tonight one last time. At 6 p.m. Eastern, in 15 minutes time, Optic Nation will play Team Caliber. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, Epsilon.NA square up against Team Elevate. 8 p.m. Eastern, Denal eSports go up against Rise. And to close out the evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, Isolation will play Optic Gaming. So much action for you guys tonight.
4 pretty good matches.
All very good matches. I'm excited. First cast of Season 3 should be a good one. Of course, all that action coming in 15 minutes time. For now, though, quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go through all of the casters here at MLG, their predictions as to what they think is going to happen, and take a look at the overall leaderboard. Be right back.